The Earth is warming. This isn't debate, it's scientific fact. Decades of research, mountains of data all point to one undeniable truth. Our planet is heating up, and we are the cause. The consequences of inaction are dire, threatening the delicate balance of our planet and the future of humanity. We are at a crossroads, a pivotal moment in history, where the choices we make today will determine the fate of generations to come. The very systems that sustain life on Earth, our oceans, forests, atmosphere, are being pushed to their limits. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial agriculture release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm. This warming effect has a cascade of consequences, from rising sea levels to more extreme weather events, all of which pose a significant threat to human societies and the natural world. The urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. We are in a race against time, and the stakes have never been higher. The longer we wait to take meaningful action, the more severe the consequences will be. The time for complacency is long gone. We need bold, decisive action to avert the worst effects of climate change. The future of our planet, and indeed our very survival, depends on it. The Earth is speaking to us, and its message is one of urgency and alarm. Across the globe, we are witnessing the devastating consequences of a warming planet. Extreme weather events, once rare occurrences, are becoming increasingly common and intense. Heat waves are scorching continents, wildfires rage across vast landscapes, and hurricanes batter coastlines with unprecedented ferocity. The delicate balance of nature is being disrupted. Rising temperatures are melting glaciers at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels that threaten coastal communities and island nations. Coral reefs, vibrant underwater ecosystems that support a quarter of all marine life, are bleaching and dying as ocean temperatures rise and acidify. The web of life is being disrupted, with species struggling to adapt to the rapidly changing environment. The loss of biodiversity is particularly concerning. As species disappear, ecosystems become less resilient, further exacerbating the effects of climate change. We are losing species at an unprecedented rate, a sixth mass extinction event driven by human activity. The consequences of this loss of biodiversity are far-reaching, impacting everything from food security to the regulation of our climate. The human cost of climate change is becoming increasingly apparent. From the Arctic to Africa to Asia, communities are grappling with the devastating impacts of a warming planet. In the Arctic, indigenous communities are seeing their traditional way of life vanish as sea ice melts and permafrost thaws. Hunting grounds are disappearing, villages are being lost to erosion, and food security is threatened. In Africa, prolonged droughts are exacerbating existing challenges of poverty and food insecurity. Farmers are struggling to cope with crop failures, pastoralists are losing their livestock, and water scarcity is leading to conflict and displacement. The continent is particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, despite having contributed the least to global greenhouse gas emissions. In Asia, densely populated coastal cities are facing the threat of rising sea levels and more intense typhoons. Millions of people are at risk of displacement, and critical infrastructure is threatened by flooding and storm surges. The region is also home to some of the world's largest river deltas, which are highly vulnerable to sea level rise and saltwater intrusion, threatening agricultural productivity and freshwater resources. Section 4. The unwavering science. The scientific consensus on climate change is overwhelming. Thousands of scientists from around the world have dedicated their careers to studying the Earth's climate system, and their findings are clear. Human activities are causing the planet to warm at an unprecedented rate. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the leading international body for the assessment of climate change, has concluded with over 95% certainty that human activities are the dominant cause of observed warming since the mid-20th century. The evidence is irrefutable, and the message is clear. We must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the worst impacts of climate change. The science is unequivocal. The longer we delay action, the more severe the consequences will be. We are approaching a point of no return where the damage to our planet will be irreversible. The science is not just about alarming statistics and dire predictions, it also provides a roadmap for action. By understanding the drivers of climate change and the potential impacts, we can develop effective strategies to reduce emissions, adapt to a changing climate, and build a more sustainable future. The science is clear. The time for action is now. The science is clear. The time for action is now. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, always stay sustainably aware.